Hello, we are going to do a demo of creating a MySQL database on EC2 Instance and connecting via DBeaver. So objective for this section are create RedHat Linux 8 EC2, and we're going to connect through EC2 Instance using PuTTY, and we're going to install MySQL database on the EC2 instance, and we're going to set up connection to MySQL database. And we're going to run some SQL script on the new MySQL database, and we're going to set up and connect to MySQL database from DBeaver, and we're going to clean up all that and then sort of do the whole thing again, but this time around we're going to use the CLI to create an EC2 instance. So, and then we're going to do the remaining parts. So sit tight and follow along, and if you like, please hit like. I'll appreciate that. So for this to happen, we need an active AWS account. We need to have DBeaver installed and PuTTY and PuTTYgen. And then the cost of this is probably, about 2-3 cents per hour of use. So, okay, let's get started. So I'm going to open up my Firefox and then connect to my AWS instance. This is AWS. And then this is my account, connect to it, and then I can go into my services, go to EC2, and then go into instances, and launch instance, and go hit on the free tier only so that you don't get any expensive images available. So click on the RedHat select, and then here I'm going to use T2 micro. And next, configure instance details. We don't need to do anything. Well, we might want to, no changes here. Go to add storage, add tags. You don't need to add tags, not required. And we're going to set security groups. So we're going to do SSH, and we're going to do the RDP, Aurora, MySQL Aurora port open. These are the two things we need. And review and launch. So we're going to review. Oh, this is, we have to put the custom. It's from anywhere, let's say for now. Launch, and then it's going to ask you to choose an existing key pair. We're going to create a new key pair. Create new key pair. Then I'm going to call it my key pair 4. I don't know, and then we're going to download the key pair and then launch instance. So remember, my key pair 4. So now we can click on the view instances, and we can also name it if you want. It's RedHat EC2, something like that. Oh, it didn't go. So okay, now we can see this is being provisioned right now, so it's still initializing and do things. So in the meantime, we can go and get, we need to set up a key pair. So in order to set a key pair, we can go into PuTTYgen. Well, first of all, we'll go into the downloads folder and then pick up that key pair 4, copy that, and then move it into my AWS location. I'll put it here, key pair 4. And then I need to open PuTTYgen, and then you can say load the PEM. You don't show the PEMs here, so you have to change to all files, and then key pair 4 PEM, open it, and then save private key. Yes, that's fine. And then I want to make it as a 4, my key pair 4. Save. Okay, so that's done. Now let's see our instance is still being provisioned, or is it complete? So let's go here. It's still initializing, but in the meantime, we're going to get this public DNS and copy that, and then open up the notepad, public DNS, and then store it here because we're going to use it. Let's see if it's provisioned. If it's not, I'm going to put a pause for a little while until it's created. we're pausing video. Okay, restarted the video. So if I reset it here, this is instance type, instance state is running, status check is checked, so it's all good. Now we can go to putty and open putty, and then here I'm going to create, go into SSH, go into auth, and then go to browse here, and then let's pick up our my key pair for ppk file, open it, and then we can go up to the sessions. Here you should put EC2 user at the DNS name that we have from here, public DNS, and then you can just have to say open. So click yes here, and then you're in your Red Hat Linux here. So the first thing normally every time you need to do is you can do sudo su super user su, and then yum update -y. So this will update the operating system updates if there are any, otherwise it'll be fine. And then once that is done, we're going to install MySQL Server. Okay, that is done. So install MySQL Server, the command is yum install MySQL -server -y yum install MySQL Server -y. So this will take some time to run, I think, so I'm going to pause the video. Okay, our SQL Server is installed. It probably took about 1.5 minutes or so it's not that long. And once the SQL Server is installed, we need to start the MySQL Server service. Okay, so service MySQL D start. Now we're going to start the MySQL service. Okay, so now we have to set the root password. For that, we can say MySQL admin -u root and password. So I'm going to create a root password. I'm going to put some random characters, 1 2 3 at 1 2 something like that. So copy that, do it twice, paste again twice. So now we have the password set. Now we can open MySQL. So MySQL -u root -p, and we can put the password will be in MySQL. This is a prompt for MySQL. Over here we're going to run some SQL commands. We're going to create a user and so on. So I have some sample shell scripts under Word document. Okay, so we're going to create kg-user. These are the syntax for that. So I'm going to put all this text commands in the description, and then we can create a database created, and I'm going to create a table, and then insert a couple of records and select. So these 2 records got inserted and they are showing now. Okay, now we can literally exit out of here. It doesn't matter. Exit from SQL, exit from EC2, exit from the whole thing. So our EC2 is still running in the background. Okay, our EC2 is still running in the background, right? So now we're going to try to connect to this database from DBeaver. So we have to open DBeaver. Okay, now we're going to create a new new connection. So we can go into your AWS. Okay, we can go into here and then create new connection, create connection, then go to a MySQL connection, next. And then we need to copy that DNS name from here. And then we need that. So over here, localhost is going to be this, and port 3306, and database is kgdb. And then the user is kgadmin. And then the password is kguser pass11. And then we leave the same, go into SSH folder, use SSH tunnel, and that, and then user here the username should be EC2 user. And then we don't need the password, we're going to use public key, and the public key is that our key pair that we created earlier. So pick the key pair. Then after that, here we need to put in, there is no passphrase, so it's going to be 127.0.0.1, and then the local port for this is 3306, and then you can do a test connection, see if it connects. Voila, it's connected. Okay, then finish. Now we can connect to this. If you see, open this one. Your database is kgdb is there, tables is there, books table is there, so you can say view data. We have the data. So now we passed this test. Now we're going to do a cleanup. So you can do your own SQLs. If you can go in here and then do SQL Editor, new SQL Editor. So you can select start from books. And then you can do insert updates or whatever else you feel like doing on this database. Now I'm going to disconnect from here and then say this no, and then we are going to don't say any of that stuff. So we can see the cleanup, and then we already exited out of the EC2 instance, so we're out of there. Now we can go to EC2, we can go to Amazon, EC2 dashboard, and go to running instances. There's one that's running, and we can kill this one. I'm going to check that instance state, terminate instance, and terminate, and then refresh. It will take some time to terminate. So go back to EC2 dashboards, instances. So the next step we're going to do is we are going to create this EC2 instance using a command line interface. So in order for us to do that, we need the image name. So for the RedHat image is this one, AMI. So I'm going to copy that. RedHat AMI is that, and then I have a command line command. How to create this one? Let's say cleanup. Cleanup is done, so this is our command, and let's paste it into this one. So over here I'm going to create, this is the AMI, and then if you go further down, key pair is going to be 4. And then the security group, we have to find out, we got the security group from before. So if you go to cancel this one, and security groups, EC2 dashboard. So the biggest one, I think this is the 10, is our new security group with this SSH and Aurora, and this is my security group ID. So I go here. Right, that's a command. So we have create run instance, image ID is that RedHat, and count 1. I think it's only one. I'm not sure what that is, but you can look it up. Insert T2 micro, key pair name is key pair 4, and this one. So now I'm going to open up my DOS prompt and then go into the S directory. If you don't know how to do this, you need to install the CLI for AWS. You need to look up instructions for that. So go to AWS, run this one. Now we go back to my EC2 dashboard and refresh and go into instances. I'll see this being provisioned. So this is terminating. So this is, we're going to name this EC2 RedHat CLI. All right. So that's what it's getting provisioned right now. So this might take some time. So I'm going to pause it for a few seconds. Okay, it took a couple of minutes to provision this EC2 instance. So we have this running and status check is good. And then if you click on here, we'll have your public DNS. Copy that and paste it into our notepad. You can override what we had before. This is from command line. And we're going to connect to this one via our EC2 instance. So we're going to go to putty, and then we can just create a new one. So it's going to be EC2 user at this one, but we're going to use the key pair 4. Key pair 4 and open, and this we're going to open, say yes. Now we are in our EC2 instance. The first thing you use is sudo su and type yum update -y. Okay, that is done. Now we're going to install MySQL. So for that, the command is yum install MySQL server -y. So this is going to take some time, so I'm going to pause the video. Okay, that's now the SQL server is installed. We're going to start the SQL server service. For that, we type in service, start. So now we're going to start the MySQL database engine. Okay, it is started. Now we need to set up a root password for this database. For that, you type in MySQL admin -u root password. And for that, we're going to create a good, some password, and oh, MySQL root password is this one. Let's create that. Okay, now we are in MySQL. Now we're going to start MySQL. For that, type in MySQL -u root -p, and then we're going to then paste that password. Okay, we're into MySQL. Now we want to create a user for this database. So we copy these scripts and then type in here. Then we're going to create a database and then use kgdb, and we create a table, and then we're going to insert a couple of records and do a select, and then you can run whatever SQL. So now we see the database. So now we're going to exit out of here. Exit. So we're out of our EC2 instance. Now we're going to open up DBeaver. Okay, for DBeaver we also need the DNS, public DNS, and then we're going to go into whatever on the folders, and then we don't need that, and create a database connection. Pick MySQL and hit next, and this is the host, our DNS is the host at 3306. Our database is kgdb. And for the database password is, what is our username and password is kgadmin. And password is kguserpass11. And then go to SSH. And then there's the SSH tunnel. And DNS is the same. And username is going to be the username is going to be EC2 user, and we're not going to use that. We're going to use a public key, and then key pair 4. Then pick that from this list, and we don't need anything there. For this, we use the localhost is 127.0.0.1, and local port is 3306. And then do a test connection, see if that works. Yeah, tested, fine, finish. Now we can open this kg6 connection database, kgdb tables. We have the books table there, so you can do whatever you need to do on this from DBeaver as far as the SQL concerned. Okay, now I'm going to disconnect this database connection, disconnect, and close my DBeaver. We also had our EC2 instance shut down. So on here, we can also come back and say our instance ID, copy that, and then a command for terminating instances from a command line. It is this one, AWS EC2 terminate instance, and so on. So we go here and then paste that. Okay, it's terminating. So if we go back here and then refresh our instances, it will show us this is terminating, shutting down. Okay, so that's the end of this video. So if we go back here, we created a EC2 RedHat EC2 instance. We connected to that instance. We installed MySQL. We set up the current MySQL database. Run some SQL scripts on that database. We connect to that database from DB.